Welcome to this 20-minute Yin Yoga practice for hormone balance. If this is your first time finding me and my dog Milo, welcome. My name is Natalie. I am a 200-hour I'm not a yoga certified teacher. I have additional training in Yin Yoga and also yoga for women's health. This practice or this sequence today is designed to support your endocrine system, promote relaxation, and just bring your body into an overall sense of harmony. As we move through these shapes together, I invite you to focus on deep, steady breaths. This will allow your nervous system to settle. Additionally, you might also decide that you'd like to have some props today. As you can see here, I have 2 blankets, I have a bolster, I have a couple of blocks, although not near me. But you might decide you'd like to do the same, and maybe you don't have a bolster, and that's okay. You can grab a cushion or something from your couch. Additionally, you might want to grab a couple of blankets, maybe a stack of books to serve as blocks, or if you have blocks, I invite you to just go ahead. You can pause the video. I'll be right here waiting when you get back. But grab what you need for today's practice just to optimize your experience. So all that aside, let's get started. So we'll begin our practice today with legs straight out in front. I invite you to check in with the back. So sometimes we have a tendency to sort of round out through the spine when sitting in this posture. And that's where a blanket or a bolster can come in handy, because you can sit on the edge. I'll just show here with the blanket. You can sit on the edge of the blanket. I apologize for him. And that will help kind of bring the hips forward a bit, and then that will help you elongate through the spine. So and if you want further support, of course, sitting on the bolster can also be very helpful. So finding whatever position works for you today. We'll bring the right ankle to rest gently on top of the left thigh, so above the knee. And you're welcome to keep the left leg straight out in front if you feel a nice sensation in the right hip. If you need a little bit of support here, of course, you can place something behind the knee to kind of just help offset any sensation that might be a bit too intense. When our hips are a bit tighter, these types of postures can feel pretty strong, for lack of better words. I said the word intense a lot, so I was like, I have to switch that up. Anyway, if you want to deepen this posture, if it's available to you, go ahead and bring the left foot to rest underneath the right knee. So the intent here is to create this sort of square with the legs, with right foot on top of the left knee, left foot underneath the right knee. Now, if you tuck the left foot and you notice the right knee kind of coming up a lot, you can do a couple of things here. Of course, you can always place a blanket there to kind of help offset that, the tightness in the hip, or just simply bring that left foot back out, keep the leg out long in front. All right, check in with the spine. We're keeping the spine elongated. From here, you might decide you'd like to tent the fingers and start walking the hands out gently in front, or you can stay sitting upright. I'm going to go ahead and tuck my left foot underneath the right knee. And we'll take a deep breath in together and then exhale, just gently sighing out through the mouth as you come down into square pose. You're welcome to keep the eyes open in a gentle gaze, or you can bring them closed for more introspection. With each inhale, I invite you to feel and tend for more space in the hips, so that we invite the breath in and the hips soften with each exhale. Every exhale is an invitation to release tension that is stored in the hips. Your mind begins to wander. I invite you to just gently return to the rhythm of the breath. All we're doing here is observing the thoughts, observing the sensations in the body, observing the stories that your mind has about the posture, the practice, and letting them just flow by. If you would like to link the breath with your movement, I invite you to take a deep breath in and exhale, gently come up out of your square pose. So I'm bringing the left leg out long first, and then I'm bringing the right foot out to meet the left foot, shaking out through the hips and the knees, or setting up on the opposite side. So this time the left ankle rests gently on top of the right leg, and that right leg is going to do what feels right for you. So keeping in mind that this side might look and feel different than the right side, okay? Again, this is about meeting yourself with compassion, compassionate and loving awareness. And once more, coming back to that remembrance that Yin Yoga is never about force. It is about invitation, it is about receptivity. So noticing where the body is receptive and perhaps where we need to back off a little bit, okay? So again, focusing on that elongated spine first as you take a deep breath in and then exhale. If you're choosing to walk the hands out in front, you may do so. Choosing whether you would like to keep the eyes open or bring them closed. Maybe you want to watch my dog play. He's having a good time. One of the beautiful things about Yin Yoga is that it teaches us the art of surrender. It teaches us that in those places and spaces where we are seemingly doing nothing, everything is happening. So we're bringing this balance into our endocrine system with just these simple shapes that we're holding on our mats. And all you have to do is breathe. That's it. If you want, you can receive the body's wisdom. You can listen to the stories that are coming up for you in these quiet moments. And you can respond accordingly. Maybe it's a thought or something that comes up that you need to come back to later. And we'll take a deep breath in together. If you're linking the breath with the movement, exhale, gently walk the hands back. If you're leaning forward and coming out of this posture by bringing the right leg straight out in front, followed by the left. You can shake it out. You can massage around the hips and the quadriceps. I like to lean back onto the hands and do this little windshield wiper motion with the knees. Sometimes that can feel really nice. Just finding a stopping point for yourself whenever you're ready. we're going to find our way into dragonfly pose. So with dragonfly pose, we're simply bringing the legs out into this wide-legged, sometimes it's also called salad pose, I believe. Or no, I'm thinking of, into this straddling posture. Perfect. And again, this is where you might decide you'd like a little extra support. So sometimes the bolster can be helpful, or a cushion or something, just to place the forearms on if you want. You don't have to use anything. You can use a stack of books or blocks if you've got them, or a block if you have one. Otherwise, concentrating first on that elongated spine, so focusing there on the inhale. And then exhale, you'll gently start walking the hands out in front. So I invite you just to lift the chest slightly on the inhale, and then exhale, walk a little bit deeper into the pose, keeping the shoulders relaxed. So we're not hunched up, just bringing them then down away from the ears. I invite you just to breathe deeply into the belly. And just feeling the body soften with every exhale. So this pose helps to stimulate the liver meridian lines. If you're not sure what meridian lines are in their simplest form, kind of like an energetic highway system in the body. And each of these meridian lines runs to specific organs throughout. If you ever have acupuncture done, an acupuncturist will place needles on specific points on the body, and those are related to your meridian lines. And it's suggested or theorized that in Yin Yoga, we get deep into those meridian lines, and the blockages or energetic blockages that may be happening on a subtle level are relieved with the more we practice. So in this particular posture, we are getting into the liver meridian line. And this is an extremely important organ to help detoxify excess hormones. I invite you, as you surrender into your stillness, into your sweet spot, to just imagine the balance flowing in and out through your system. So with every inhale, maybe envisioning a beautiful white light or emerald green color coming in and enveloping the liver. And with every exhale, any stagnant energy comes out with that breath, bringing vitality, balance, homeostasis back into the liver. And if you're linking the breath with movement, I invite you to take a deep breath in and exhale. Gently walk the hands back, coming up to our elongated spine once more. And we'll slowly bring the legs back together, maybe shake them out. Maybe you want to do the windshield wiper motion with the knees. And from here, let's find our way into tabletop pose. So I'm going to kind of back up a little bit because it seems Milo's decided to take a nap right there. But you can stay there. We'll come into this tabletop posture. Hi, honey. Good. So feeling the arms almost like they're two pillars, right? You may decide that you'd like to start with a little bit of cat-cow movement. So really driving the hands or rooting the hands into the mat, rounding out through the upper spine, feeling the shoulder blades separate and the hips come forward, the tailbone tucks. Just maybe even alternating shoulders here, feeling that space opening in the back. We'll inhale, dip the belly down toward the earth, looking up toward the sky, collarbone spread, heart opens. Exhale, we'll round out through the back again. One more time coming up for our inhale in cow pose. Perfect, and coming back to this neutral spine position. From our tabletop pose, we're just simply gonna bring the legs out behind and the forearms down to the mat. So we are in our Sphinx pose here. I'm gonna move back slightly so you can see. You're welcome to bring the legs together behind you, or you can make a space between the legs. If the elbows closer in toward the body feels slightly too intense on the lower back, feel free to bring the elbows out further away from the body. And you're welcome to just stay right here on the forearms, or you can play around with seal by bringing the forearms up off the mat. Of course, if you have a bolster, you're welcome to bring the bolster up underneath the rib cage, rest the forearms on the bolster or the cushion, pet your dog, and breathe. So again, we're checking in with the shoulders, that they're not hunched up toward the ears. The head can either just look straight ahead, you can allow the head to fall back, kind of opening up through the throat, or you can do some sort of neck rolls here, anything that you want really, just so long as nothing is pinching, pulling, or your body just saying like, hey, that's not good, that doesn't feel good, okay? So we're honoring that and doing our best to enter the pose with compassion. So this pose stimulates the thyroid and adrenal glands, which support the energy levels and metabolism of the body. And you might decide that you would like to visualize that beautiful healing light coming in with every breath on the inhale, and exhaling any stagnant energy. And anytime the mind wanders, just always coming back to the breath. Good. So if you are linking the breath with the movement and maybe you're in seal pose, I invite you to come back down into Sphinx. And once in Sphinx, I invite you to bring the right forearm out in front and then stack the left arm on top of the right, just gently resting the forehead down on top of the arms. You may decide to bring the big toes together behind you and then just allow the heels to splay out. That will help release the lower back. Just noticing how the body feels, the subtle shifts that have been made. Take a deep breath in and then exhale. Just bring the palms of the hands to either side of the chest and slowly peel the torso up off the mat as we find our way back into our tabletop pose. Essentially, we're setting up here for swan or pigeon, as it's known in more like young type of classes. But I invite you to just begin by walking the hands out about a palm length in front and extend the right leg straight out behind. We'll take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, bring the right knee to just behind the right wrist, and then the right foot behind the left wrist, okay? From there, you might decide to tuck the toes on the left foot, bring the knee up a little bit, and elongate through the tail, if you will. So if this pose feels great for you, you're welcome to stay right where you are. You can stay upright or come down onto the forearms, or even placing the head down on top of the hands for a little extra support on the third eye. If you need some maybe additional help in the hip, feel free to grab a blanket or a pillow and just place it right underneath the hip like so. And that will help kind of ease some of the sensation that you might be feeling. Another option here is the closer the foot is in toward the hip crease, the less intense the pose is going to feel. The further up the foot is, the more intense it's going to feel, okay? So you have lots of options with this posture. And again, you're welcome just to stay upright on the hands or come down onto the forearms, or even a cushion or bolster right onto the forearms as well. So this pose gets very deep into the hips. And oftentimes this is where, well, it's been theorized that the hips are where we store our stories. So as you breathe, I invite you just to imagine once more that tension melting away, and maybe even bringing in an affirmation if that calls to you. You can say something like, I trust my body, or I surrender to balance, or maybe a mixture between the two. Maybe stories are going to come up as you breathe. And once more, if it's something that's just super, like it needs to be visited, promise yourself that you will come back to it after your practice is over. Beautiful. We'll take a deep breath in, and then on your exhale, gently walk the hands back. If you're folded over the leg, we're just going to simply lean to the right and then bring the left foot out in front, with the left leg out in front. You can kind of shake out the legs from here. Do any kind of movement that feels good, bringing blood flow back down to the feet and the ankles. And you're welcome to go back into tabletop pose and set up for this posture on the opposite side. Or you can bring the left leg into this bent knee position, as you can see. And I'm just swinging the right leg back behind. Good. And then bringing the right knee up, tucking the toes, feeling that nice little length in my tail. And you might decide you want to sit up tall here. Really inhale as you reach up, look up toward the sky. And then exhale, finding your perfect swan pose on the opposite side. And remembering that once more, this side might look and feel different than the right side did, okay? So once more, coming into that place of compassion, gentleness. And just from coming back to that breath anytime the mind starts to wander. And if you need a good distraction, you can always watch my dog play. So ultimately, it is always up to us what we want to give our energy to. Life is always going to pull us in so many different directions. And I believe yoga is just such the perfect place to practice with where your time or where your attention and your energy is going. And time as well, to an extent, right? Giving that focus to the breath, giving that focus to what's in front of you right now, as opposed to what needs to be done, all the things from your past, just all the things that always seem to come up for us, your to-do list, whatever it is, right? Let's take a deep breath in together. If you're on the forearms, I invite you to just start walking the hands back toward your hips and leaning to the left, bring the right leg out in front. You can shake out the legs here. And I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what I'm doing. Milo, hey, can we not with that? I don't know if so this is not a sponsored video, by the way, but if you're familiar with BarkBox, Milo gets one once a month, and he really likes it, as you can tell. This is one of the toys he got. So he wants to show all of you his toy, his BarkBox toy. Perfect. So we're going to set up now for shoelace pose. This is similar to square pose, except it's slightly different. So I'm going to kind of explain the difference here, but we'll start by bringing the right leg up, the right foot up toward the left hip. So we're intending here for the knee to be in front of you, whereas with square, the knee was off to the side. In shoelace, the knee will be in front. Come on here, as you can see. So you might once more feel a nice sensation in the right hip, right like this. And if that's the case, perfect. Where you are is perfect. Otherwise, you're welcome to bring the left foot up near the right hip. So once more, my knees are stacked, one on top of the other. Milo, enough. My knees are stacked, one on top of the other. Whereas with square, our knees were out in front and off to the side, right? So this is our shoelace pose. Now, this might be too much right now today, and that's all right. You do not have to bring the left foot underneath. You can just leave the left leg out long in front, like I said. You're welcome to just hold on to the ankle. I personally like to make a little hook with my foot and kind of lace it behind my wrist. So if you've got one leg on top, you're welcome to do that. Of course, if you have both legs stacked, I make a hook with both of my feet, and then I kind of lean over the top of the thighs. So I do know that with the leg straight out in front, you'll probably more so feel the sensation in the left hamstring. Whereas like if you have the knee stacked like so, you'll feel it more in the right hip. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose together, and let's exhale through the mouth. So this pose is stimulating the liver and kidney meridians. As we talked about earlier, with the liver being so important in flushing out excess hormones, I'm sure you can tell that this will help regulate hormones and then release any stagnation. So once again, coming back to that breath, anytime the mind wanders, and you are more than welcome to use an affirmation here as well. Something maybe along the lines of, I am in harmony with my body. My hormones are balanced and flowing with ease. Okay. So we'll just breathe here together. You're welcome to keep the eyes closed. You can keep them open with a gentle gaze. See if you can bring a nice smile to your face today. Maybe even offer up some gratitude for your beautiful body, for its wisdom, that it knows what to do to heal. Perfect. And if you are leaning forward, I invite you just to come up gently, unhook the hands from the feet. Bring the left leg out long if it's not already, followed by the right leg. Shake them out. Give yourself a little massage. Maybe do that windshield wiper motion. Okay, and we're gonna set up for this posture on the opposite side. So this time the left foot is gonna come up near the right hip with that intent to bring the knee in front of you. If this feels like a good sensation in the right hip, or in the left hip rather, stay right here, okay? If you wanna walk over the tops of the legs a little bit, add a little bit of pressure to that top leg, you're welcome to. Again, you might notice more of a sensation in the hamstring area when you do so. Otherwise, you can bring the right foot up near the left hip and decide where you'd like to take this posture. So I'm gonna hook my hands once more. I'm gonna sit up tall on the inhale, and then exhale, gently fold forward. Once more, focusing on the breath or focusing on the affirmations. I am in harmony with my body. My hormones are balanced and flowing with ease. And let's take a deep breath in and exhale, gently come up. You can release the hands, you can release the lower leg if it's tucked under, and then release the upper leg, shake out the knees. And just for a moment, let's go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together for butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana. You're welcome to come down, round out through the spine. We're not going to be here a super long time. Maybe just move a little bit in your butterfly, little dancing butterfly action. Perfect. And find any comfortable seated position. Instead of traditional Shavasana, we will simply end with a seated posture in the hands in the Anjali Mudra, the prayer hands right in front, thumbs connected with the sternum. So sitting up tall with that elongated spine, tuck the chin down slightly toward the chest. Mahalo nui loa. Thank you very much for practicing with me today. May the benefits of this practice stay with you long after today is over. May you remember the strength, the wisdom, and the beauty of your body, that it has its own natural rhythm and cycle, and that it is always working toward homeostasis with and for you. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. The divine teacher and student in me honors, sees, respects the divine teacher and student in each of you. Namaste.